last day before we pick back up and travel again. Feeling great. I got pretty good sleep. I'm at a 72% recovery. A lot of people take sleep for granted. I am telling you from experience, sleep is the best thing for fat loss and muscle building. I've probably seen the most results these last like 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 months than I did in the entire, you know, what is it, probably 200 days before that or whatever. Because, I've been dieting, or I was yeah, I guess I still am, dieting for the last 320 plus days. And the last 60 to 90 days, I've probably seen the best results. And this has also been when I've had the best sleep and like the best recovery. And, I track that on how I feel, but just on like the numbers alone, I can, you know, I just look at this and it tells me. So, sleep, sleep, sleep. Get the best sleep that you can. I ended up buying like a little like face mask because the ones that I tried, they weren't working out for whatever reason. I would get light. It's probably because my big ass nose, but I would get light through, and I get a lot of light in my room. So, around, I don't know, 8 o'clock when the sun would start to come up, although I know it's good to wake up like that, I wasn't getting enough sleep because I would go, I go to bed like around midnight. So going to bed at midnight and waking up at the crack, well, not even eight, at the crack of dawn is like 6 or 7. No, that wasn't working out. So I got this mask and, the nose strips. So I've made it to where my sleep is as good as it can be. So that's definitely been helping, but consistency, that beats everything else. But enough of that. We're having our first meal. First meal is steak, rice, and cheese. Surprise, surprise. But we've got 70 grams of rice. We've got 47 grams of cheese. And we've got 7 ounces of steak right here. Boom. 7 ounces of steak. And the reason that I'm not eating more cheese is because once again, I have a birthday dinner that I will be attending tonight. So I want to, kind of prep myself. So I don't want to get all my macros in early, right? I want to be able to, because I don't really know where we're going yet. It might be a steakhouse. So I'm going to limit the amount of fat. That way I can have some fats over there. And I'm going to try to, be considerate of the carbs and the protein this time. That way I can manipulate them a little bit better for dinner. And then my point, what I want to do is by the time I have the dinner, I don't necessarily meet all my macros for that dinner, right? If that makes sense. So I want to be able to eat until that dinner, and then go eat at the dinner, and then hopefully come back and still have space in the macros to accommodate, right? So if I need to eat like 40 grams of carbs, if I need to eat like another 20 grams of fats or like another 50 grams of protein, then I can supplement that towards the end. But I don't want to do that now and then be way over at the end of the night like what happened 2 days ago. So I want to be able to mitigate as much, macro macro eating, protein, fats, and carbs, and kind of just keep a steady pace throughout the day. So that's why I'm kind of limiting the fats for this first one, and then for my next meal, I'll probably try to limit the carbs, just so I can be eating consistently and still being able to track, obviously. And then for the final meal right before bed, I'm sure it'll be something small, but that way I can still supplement and not be completely ridiculously over, my calories and being over my macros. So with that being said, first meal of the day, very excited. Got some work to do, but I'm gonna try and hit the gym after this. And I know some of you have been asking for physique reveal. That is to come, and may or may not also be including a intro to these videos, to my video series. So beware, be on the lookout. You'll see it soon. I can't tell you how soon, still working on it, but for now, we're gonna get this meal in, hit the gym, and I will see you guys for meal number 2. Okay, it is late. However, I am gonna get my last meal in. I just got back from that dinner that I was telling you guys about, and they didn't really have anything that fit my macros. Really, they didn't have any macro specifications, and I don't think I'm good enough yet to try and figure out, what is what. And they didn't really have any like not the ingredients, but it's just like, how much is in this? How much? And I wasn't about to sit there and ask, so I just ate as little as possible. I ended up sharing my plate, so I didn't have to feel guilty about not eating a whole plate at a dinner. So I just shared it, and even that, I only had like, I think it was just a slice of like thin steak, and I had maybe 3 tablespoons of mashed potatoes with like the smallest amount of gravy. So it wasn't anything out of the ordinary, nothing super crazy that's gonna blow my macros out. I had water, really, didn't drink anything else. I might have had a spoonful of some sort of, I don't know, it was like some sort of dessert, but it didn't look that great, so I didn't have any. I had a little bit, so there's that. But for the last piece of today for food, it's gonna be 2.5 ounces of steak, 100 grams of rice, and 120 grams of cheese, because I didn't really have any fats throughout the day. And for lunch, I know I skipped that, but it's because it was so quick and I was running late. But I had 7 ounces of steak and 10 crackers, 2 servings of saltine crackers, which is 1 serving is 5 saltine crackers. But that was all I had. And then I went to the dinner, didn't eat much there. And then I'm just getting back now. It's about 1:30, and this is the last meal I'm gonna have before I travel for the weekend. So I wanna make it a good one. So I've got the rice cooker cooking the 100 grams. I've got the sad 2.5 ounces of steak, but this worked out perfectly because that's all the steak I have left. So it works out. That thing is bubbling up. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's gonna be my dinner. I wanted to get this done before I pass out. I'm so tired, so I'm just trying to eat this and maybe stay up for a little bit, let it digest, because I feel like every time I eat and go to sleep right after, it messes with my sleep. So I'm gonna try to stay up for a little bit just to give it some movement in the bowels, and not go to sleep right after I eat. But that's my day. We're ending at 1,712 calories plus the little bit of steak and mashed potatoes that I had. I'm sure that probably put me at like maybe 1,900 calories. But officially, that I was able to track, 1712 with 139 grams of protein, 160 grams of carbs, and 58 grams of fat. So that's a pretty good way to end my night after, you know, not being able to fully facilitate all the meals, and to be able to, I guess, my send off right into the weekend. So that's it for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow, probably tomorrow night, to see where my macros land. Maybe I'll see you guys at the airport. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But it's an early flight, all day at the airport, so there might be something in there. But I will see you guys tomorrow, and wish me luck.